Let me ask you something. Have you ever been completely fine and then one conversation, one piece of bad news, one person opinion, and suddenly everything inside you shifts? You were steady, then you weren't. And the worst part, it wasn't even that big, but something inside you cracked. That's not weakness. That's what happens when the mind hasn't been built yet. Most people spend their entire lives reacting to criticism, to failure, to uncertainty, and they call it life. But here is another way to live. This is a kind of inner stability that doesn't depend on circumstance being perfect, people being kind, or outcome going your way. The Stoics' wise mind across centuries didn't call it toughness. They call it something far deeper. They call it an unshakable mind. And today, that exactly what we are going to build. Now, I'll be breaking them into section. And this is section 1. The real problem. Here is the truth nobody tells you. Most people aren't broken. They are just unbuilt. We were taught to manage our circumstance, get a better job, fix the relationship, change the environment. And yes, those things matters. But nobody taught us how to manage what happens inside when circumstances refuse to cooperate. Now, this is inspired by Stoic philosophy. There is an idea that cut through everything. You cannot control what happens to you, but you have absolute authority over how you respond. That distinction between what happens and how you respond is the end foundation of a mind that cannot be shaken. Most people live on the wrong side of that line. They hand their peace to traffic jam, to social media's comment, to people who haven't thought about them in weeks. The unshakable mind doesn't do that. It doesn't refuse to feel. It learns to anchor. Now, this is section 2, the 4 pillars. Let me give you 4 pillars. 4 practices that build this kind of mind over time. Pillar 1, master the space between stimulus and response. Something happens, a harsh word, an unexpected loss, a plan that collapsed. Between that moment and your reaction, there is a gap, tiny at first, almost invisible. But that gap is where your freedom lives. Inspired by existentialists and toxic thoughts alike, the practice of pausing before reacting is not passivity. It is power. It is your choosing who you are becoming, who you are before the world decide for you. Start small. Next time someone frustrates you, breathe before you speak. Next time fear surges, ask, is this a threat or a thought? You are training that gap to grow. And as it grows, so does your peace. Pillar 2, build an inner reference point. An unshakable mind has a home base, not a place, not a person, an inner standard, a set of values so clear and so honed that when word pushes, you know exactly where you stand. Inspired by Jungian philosopher, when you haven't done that work, knowing yourself deeply, you become whoever the crowd need you to be. Your shape shifts to survivor. When you value your loading bearing, when they carry the weight of who you are, external cause has less grip on you. Ask yourself, what do I actually believe? What would I refuse to compromise even under pressure? Write it down. Return to it. Let it become the ground you stand on. Pillar 3. Embrace impermanence as a teacher, not a threat. Inspired by Buddhist philosopher, one of the deepest source of inner pain is our resistance to change. We cling to what was. We fear what might be. The unshakable mind doesn't pretend that loss doesn't hurt or that ending isn't real. It simply holds them differently. It says, this is how things are. What do I do now? That shift from why is this happening to what do I do now is one of the most powerful cognitive moves available to a human being. It doesn't erase grief, but it ends the war with reality. What if that war is exhausting? Pillar 4. Train the mind like you train the body. You weren't expecting physical strength without consistent effort. The mind is the game, inspired by pauses, practice of daily reflection, journaling, meditation, deliberate discomfort, asking hard questions. Mental resilience is not a threat you are born with. It is a practice you choose. The people who seems unshakable aren't lucky. They have been building quietly, consistently. They have what the ancient world call apatheia, not the absence of feeling, but mastering how or overreaction, a deep practice, stillness. You can build that starting today. Section 3. The deeper truth. Here is what I want you to understand. And this is the part most people miss. An unshakable mind isn't cold. It isn't detached. It isn't a wall. It is a foundation. The people who have built this kind of mind love more freely because they are not afraid that love will destroy them. They take bigger risks because failure doesn't define them. They speak their truth because their word isn't up for a vote. Strength and sensitivity are not opposite. The strongest minds I've ever encountered have been the most open ones. They are open because they are rooted. That's what we are building here, not armor, roots. Now, I want to turn this over to you because here is the thing about building an unshakable mind. Nobody does it. The story we share with each other are part of the building process. So right now, in the comment below, I want you to answer one question. What is the one thing that used to shake you, that no one longer has the same power over you today? It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It could be a person's opinion, a fear you finally face, a moment where you found out you were stronger than you thought. Share it because your story might be the exact thing someone else watching need to hear right now. That's what this community is for. Not performance, not perfection. Real growth, real people, real stories. If this video spoke to you, share it with someone who is going through something hard right now. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is direction. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Felix, and this is the Empower Voice. Subscribe and turn on notifications so we can keep building together. Until next time, stay rooted, stay real, and remember the mind that cannot be shaken is a mind that has been built. I love you. I'm Felix. Thanks so much.